couple of weeks ago, I was fortunate, along with my son and daughter-in-law, to be one of the 1,200 people who gathered in Berlin for Dr. Joe Dispenza's week-long advanced workshop. We were also privileged to be chosen to have our brain scans done, which proved definitively that we do indeed have brains, a subject which has provoked much discussion. When I was filling out the personal data form for the brain scan, I came to the question about health issues. I listed hearing loss and wear-related joint issues. At the time, I had no thoughts or intentions to ask for a healing during the late week sessions. However, my knees had been giving me more and more trouble of late, and I, mostly joking, mentioned that I wouldn't object to my knees getting a dose of energy, especially after the Friday evening healing session, where I spent the entire time sitting cross-legged on the floor. My son and daughter-in-law immediately sought out our team leader, the lovely and talented Marianne Soveron, and scored a coin for me. Marianne later told me she had run out of tokens and was heading back to the ballroom when another team leader offered her a couple of spare coins just seconds before my son caught up with her. I have been involved in psychic healing, energy healing, Reiki, etc. for right on half a century. I know how it goes, and I know what to expect. And I had high hopes that with so many people putting their awareness together and 8 of them focusing specifically on me, something was going to happen and I might have less pain in my knees. I took the time to center myself and achieve the proper state of mind to receive the energy. A side note, it may be more blessed to give than to receive, but if no one is around to receive, there ain't much giving going on. Imagine if Lazarus had said, "No thanks, I don't take charity." That story might have turned out rather different. As soon as my team entered and stood around me, I began to feel the energy. I started to shake uncontrollably, and tears ran from my eyes and onto the floor. When those 8 loving and lovely individuals turned their open, energized hands toward me, I felt such a burst of loving, living energy, I wasn't certain my old body would be able to contain it. The kriyas, the shaking and jerking in my body, increased by the moment, along with both laughing and crying. The experience was, to be completely frank, physically uncomfortable, but I was in total ecstasy at the same time. After the session ended and I had embraced my team, I noticed probably a 10 to 20% decline in knee pain and stiffness. Not a bad result. But I've had hearing difficulties as long as I've known myself. Family legend says that the bite of a coral snake when I was but 2 or 3 years old caused damage to the auditory nerve and degraded my hearing. When I was in the 7th grade, an audiologist came to school to check our hearing. Standing in front of the classroom with oversized headphones strapped to my head, I was instructed to raise my hand when I heard the tone. I stood there, listening intently, hearing nothing, while all my classmates in their seats without headphones raised their hands. I failed my draft physical due to my limited hearing, so this isn't a completely sad story. The Army doctors at the induction center told me I would probably be completely deaf within 5 to 8 years. Through determination and the aforementioned healing energy work, I was able to change that prognosis to a slow decline. Then, 20 years ago, my darling wife was told about an essential oil that had been shown to reverse nerve deafness. Just one drop in each ear and you will notice the effects within minutes. It actually only took seconds to notice the effects, and they weren't good. The high phenol content of the oil burned through both eardrums and created fistulas in both inner ears. What followed was years of headaches, depression, panic attacks, vertigo, tinnitus, sensitivity to loud noises, ADD, and almost daily thoughts of suicide. I stopped driving out of anxiety that the sudden onset of a spell of vertigo might leave me unable to control my car. Loud noises, sudden movements, or excessive focus left me dizzy, often vomiting, and far too frequently losing consciousness. As you might expect, that was the end of my chiropractic career. Delivering a proper chiropractic adjustment requires intense focus. Falling down and passing out while puking? Not a good look for doctor-patient relationships. Years of chiropractic adjustments, acupuncture, cranial work, 1,000 Reiki sessions, along with herbal, homeopathic, and alchemical remedies, restored me to something resembling a normal life. But the degraded hearing accelerated, along with intense headaches and tinnitus so loud I can't believe other people standing next to me can't hear it. More and more powerful and expensive hearing aids helped, but they exacerbated the sensitivity to loud noises. A dog barking nearby or an ambulance passing could still have me crawling to the bathroom to throw up and leave a vicious hangover in its wake. By and large, I've adapted my life to accommodate my limited hearing. It was, in fact, of much less concern than my knees, but I was signed up for the healing session and ready to give it a shot for my knees. Lying on the floor as the other class participants entered and my personal team of angels stood around me, I was unable to hear or clearly understand the instructions Dr. Joe was giving. I caught a phrase about "looked him in the eye" and remembered he had asked the Heelys to make eye contact with their group when I was on a team on Friday. So I opened my eyes and looked at each person for several seconds. When the session ended, I hugged and thanked each member of my team. When I realized I was hearing and understanding almost every word Dr. Joe was saying. Even the young women who made the announcements were understandable. Prior to that, even with my hearing aids, the women had all sounded like wah, wah, wah. Being a very private person and not liking to involve others in my personal situations, I chose to share this healing miracle only with my son and daughter-in-law. I was also concerned that there existed the possibility of an hysterical healing, one I wanted so badly I could convince myself it had happened and it would fade to normal within hours or days, a placebo effect. Even though I was looking for improvement in my knees, not my hearing. I will say my hearing is not perfect or even particularly good, but it is very much better and continues to get better daily. I listen to the morning meditations now without my Bluetooth and even without my hearing aids. I have to turn down the volume on my phone when I do the walking meditations. Some might not see this as a big deal. I mean, I didn't get up from a wheelchair or grow a new limb. But do miracles come in sizes? Was walking on water more difficult than turning it into wine? This is my miracle, and this is my story. I've witnessed and participated in many, many miracles over the last half century. I know the miraculous happens, but like most people, I thought miracles happened for other folks. Did I not feel worthy? I don't know, but I never expected it to happen for me. Even though I feel strongly about my privacy, I feel even more strongly that the 1,200 people who put their awareness on healing, the 8 people who focused that energy on me, and even Dr. Joe, for whom this should have begun, "You're never gonna believe this," they should know that their efforts produced a life-changing effect on me and my family. I am overcome with gratitude and excitement for my future. If miracles can happen that I didn't even look for, the notion of unlimited just got bigger.